From the Bramble Jam Podcast Network studios, it's the Diss List with Bran and Dan. 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 Oh my goodness.
God.
Sit down, everybody.
Wow,
KC and the Moneymakers bringing it strong this morning.
Great group.
Man,
It's great to be here
just
today.
Nasty bass line today.
For another episode of the
Yeah.
Diss List. Dan, how are you, buddy?
I'm great, man. How about you?
I'm doing great. It's just good to be here. You know what I
Show's
mean?
really catching on like wildfire.
The
Got ratings and reviews and
Already?
everything. I know. Can you believe it, Brand?
That's so kind
Isn't
of
that
people.
unbelievable?
You mean people went to the Apple Podcast and they left reviews?
They
and
went
then
to the Apple Podcast and left ratings and reviews. They sure
Wow.
did.
Do you have one?
I'd love to say that I do.
But he doesn't. The Diss List is a very simple show. We bring a guest on to talk about a top 10 list of their choosing. They can pick whatever they want to, something that makes them happy, jovial, that they would consider themselves maybe an expert in.
An expert.
And Dan, you and I get to mess around with that list a little bit. Some might say diss that list a little bit.
Is that the name of the show?
And then that person gets to decide which list is the perfect list.
Brand M. Ludwig 28
Yeah?
says, great concept and even better listen, a fun time.
Wow.
And SNL 014 says, I love making these lists. Along with the host and guest, always a good time. I cannot wait for more episodes.
Lauren Michaels left that review.
Lauren Michaels, if you can believe it.
Wow, how
Yeah,
about
he
that?
couldn't get SNL. He had to go with SNL 014.
Right, yeah.
He missed it
Our hands were
by
tied.
13.
His hands, listen, there's nothing you could do.
There's nothing you can do.
Dan, we have a very special guest today.
We do.
Someone who's already on the Bramble Jam Podcast Network, and so it was easy to make his writer, and we told him he had to.
That's right.
And he said, okay.
of the
Who do we have today, Dan?
We have famous YouTuber. He solves mysteries.
Yeah.
You should check him out. He's also on a Survivor podcast right on the Bramble Jam Podcast Network.
Making the
called
merge.
Making the Merge that Brand you pop in on as well.
I pop in on it.
It's Chase.
Wow.
Thanks, guys. And I'm glad you read my reviews.
Yeah.
I left those just for you
both
guys.
of those.
Yeah, I left both of them. Yeah,
So
yeah.
you went with SNL 014.
Yeah, I just picked my favorite year of SNL.
Yeah, you did. 14's a great year.
The notoriously
Yeah, yeah. 1989
famous
was just
2014.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, 040. 014. Okay,
Something about-
2014.
Something about Pete Davidson showing up.
Yeah,
I was like,
that was the year.
That's
That
a
was
good
the year.
It's a good year.
Choice.
It's a good year for sure. Chase, this is exciting to have you on. I'm nervous for you because I know
yeah.
the topic that you chose
This is very exciting.
is something that's near and dear
It's
to
very exciting.
to Dan's heart.
I love Christopher Nolan. I think he's one of the best working, entertaining directors. He is unbelievable. And when we put together a spreadsheet of all the Diss List ideas, I couldn't wait for somebody to choose Chris Nolan movies.
And you did it.
And you did it.
Yeah, well, I didn't really have a choice, like you guys said. I believe the text I received was Dan said you had to pick Nolan movies.
You were on another radio
Yeah.
show that we happened to host. You
Yep,
called
yep.
in, South Carolina Public Radio. Who
That's
What
right.
When.
Who, what, when?
And that's how I met you.
Yeah.
You were a caller on the show, big fan. And you were referencing Chris Nolan movies. And that was
Yes.
when I was like, you got to come do this on the
Because we were
show.
doing sci-fi. Which
That's right.
And we're going to get into this in the
Yeah,
episode.
for sure.
Nolan is a sci-fi director.
Not only, but he is.
At his core.
See,
Hey, Dan, let the guest
go
speak.
ahead. Go ahead, Chase.
See, no, this is what's going to happen today. Because when I walked in the door, you were ready to start fighting over this list.
I'm not going to fight. I'm not here to
I
fight.
knew you were gonna
I'm
have
here
a problem with my
fun.
list.
It's the Diss List with Bran and Dan.
But
It's a fun place to be.
I'm not just some dude from the street.
No,
okay?
you know your
No,
film.
he's not a
I'm
guy.
gonna be able to fight back a little bit
I
because
love it.
I'm gonna double down and say I have the perfect list. I
Wow.
will say there's one part of my list that I would be okay if you changed out.
Okay. Great.
But for the most part, my list is the 100% accurate.
So can I tell you this, Chase?
100% accurate.
I'm
Wow.
a firm believer that Chris Nolan is a director that is an auteur indie filmmaker that's been given $300 million to make big budget movies.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times they have science fiction components. They always have time components to them.
Yes.
I am of the belief that there are two specific movies that are his worst two. And then I think there are there is one that is his best one. And I think everything in between there
Is up for grabs.
is absolutely up for debate because they're all great.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's fair.
They're all great. And so I do think Alonzo's in the chat saying that I was afraid of his list. I would have been fascinated by Alonzo Duraldi's list, who panned Oppenheimer, who's like the one critic on Metacritic that didn't give it a positive review. So
We know him. We know the one.
Yeah. It was all green. It was
he
all
is-
green.
he is-
One yellow review, and it was Alonzo Duraldi.
He is the rating that has become death.
That's the filmverdict.com.
That's right.
Look for Alonzo Duraldi's Oppenheimer review, which he will tell us was not a pan. He just thought it was okay. But for me, I think that there's a bottom two and there's a top one, and I think everything else in between I have strong opinions on.
I believe
but
it.
I'm willing to give and take on the rest.
Yes.
I'm curious what your bottom two is, because I didn't think it was that easy to pick a worst two Nolan movie.
And now a couple of questions for you as we're qualifying this. Number one, you've seen all 11 feature films, and are you including Following in this mix or not?
Okay, so I do have to admit, I have only seen 10 of the 12 movies.
So you've not seen Following, or what's the other one you've not seen?
I haven't seen is Following his first one.
Yeah, that's an hour. I don't really count that one.
And I haven't seen Insomnia with Robin Williams.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. Okay,
But
got it.
I imagine if I had seen it, it would make it pretty high on the list. It's a pretty big movie, right?
It's a big deal, but it's not a Nolan movie like the rest of his movies are.
Okay.
It's very much a director for hire. He did Memento, and then they were like, we got this movie, and we got these two big leads. Let's see if you can handle the big show.
Okay.
And what I appreciate about Chase is he could have sought it out. There was one movie he had to see.
He could have seen it. Literally, he had weeks. He could have seen it at any point.
And he said no.
And he said, I'm ready to
I'm not
fight
going.
on Nolan movies. I haven't seen one.
I wasn't
That's
gonna.
what he did.
I wasn't going to admit this on the show. I hadn't seen a full 10 Nolan movie.
Really?
I watched 2 movies in preparation for this
there you
episode.
go.
Oh my gosh.
Look
2
at
big
you.
ones.
What'd you
Two
watch?
really big ones.
I got to hear it. What'd you watch?
I'm embarrassed to say I watched Interstellar
Dear God.
and I watched Dunkirk.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fascinating.
Well, let's see if they make the list. That's what we're doing here today. Chase has brought his top 10 favorite Chris Nolan movies.
Yes.
And because of the number of movies that there are available, we decided to squabble a little bit with our normal rules, Dan.
That's
Where
right.
We normally have 2 replaces and 2 swaps. We weren't really going to.
You can't do 2 replaces. There's only one movie to replace.
Right.
So
And
we get 3
We can do 3
switches and 1 replace.
1 replace.
Now I have a question for you guys.
Go ahead.
Do you guys each
Yeah.
get to make those swaps? Or
Yes.
So he's going to pitch you a list that is his list. You're going to see it on the screen.
Okay.
I'm going to pitch you a list that's my list, and then you're going to see that on the screen, and then you're going to make a call which list
one is
you
the best.
prefer.
All right,
that's not
dude.
yours.
That's
All
right.
right.
That's
it will
right.
almost undoubtedly be Brand's.
Well, we'll see.
No, man. I don't know. I feel like
Yeah.
I might agree with you.
All right, okay,
I might agree with
okay.
you.
Let's
If
see
you,
what
if
I
you
like
can back up your reasoning.
Oh, I
you
can
know?
do that. I love Chris Nolan.
I do too. I do
Yeah,
too.
there's only one of his movies I've not seen multiple times.
Okay. So that's
it'll give away my last if I tell you which one. it is.
Dandy's Good Time.
Let's just get into it.
A movie
let's
not
do
a lot
it.
of people
Let's
talk
do
about
it.
is Dandy's Good Time, but it was one of his early stuff. It was super like experimental. Okay, let's start with number 10. Don't worry about it. Number 10, is it Dandy's
wouldn't
Good
get it.
Time?
It is not.
Is it Dandy's Good Time?
Oh, my number 10.
Yeah.
My number 10, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't think there's going to be any arguments with this one, The Dark Knight Rises.
Okay.
Tell me about it.
Oh, are there disagreements
Oh,
about
for
this?
sure.
Whoa,
Yeah.
dude! I thought this was going to be the safest option.
No.
All right, so I already don't love Nolan's take on Batman,
Okay.
right? And The Dark Knight Rises is all of the things that I don't like about his Batman turned up to 11.
What are they? What are the things you don't like about Batman?
Gotham City is just Chicago
Pittsburgh.
and Wall Street,
Yeah.
and Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's Pittsburgh,
There's no like character to the city.
Yeah.
I hate the Christian Bale Batman voice.
Yeah.
In the
voice.
first movie, it's okay. Like that's pretty good. Where's Rachel?
Where is he?
Then in the second one, it gets a little bit more, and you're like, "Why is he doing the voice
Yeah.
more?"
Yeah.
And then the third one, it's like he's doing the college humor caricature of Batman.
Yeah.
And in an interview, Christian Bale, phenomenal actor, said that was a Nolan note to
Yes.
keep doing it. So I
Yes.
blame Nolan for
Yes.
that. Yeah, and those are kind of my two. I hate that they made Joseph Gordon-Levitt Robin out of left field at the end of that movie. I mean, it has its positives though. Bane is an amazing
Tom Hardy
villain.
crushes.
You know, probably one of the most quotable movies, other than maybe Joker's in Dark Knight.
Yeah.
You know. Oh, this is the best line of the whole movie. This is
Let's
the best
hear
line
it.
of the whole
Let's
movie. What happens if I take off the mask? It'd be extremely painful.
That's good. That's a good band.
For you.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. No, I'm a fan, dude. But I think this is Nolan's worst movie. It's the only movie that I'm watching of Christopher Nolan's, and I'm like, he didn't want to make this movie. He did not want to make this movie. He was done with these Batman movies, last movie.
Interesting.
And now he wants to go off and make time travel movies.
Now he wants to go over and make time travel movies. Bran, have you seen The Dark Knight Rises?
I've seen all of these movies.
Okay.
Yes.
What do you think?
I like this movie.
Yeah.
I saw this movie in the theater, and I remember thinking, man, Bane's so cool.
It
and
is.
I think, like, that's kind of what you want out of a bad guy, right? Like, you want the bad guy to, like, kind of have the Darth Vader effect where you're like, he's pretty cool though, right? Like, I know he's bad, but he's pretty cool though, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of like
Dude,
what
Bane
you
rules
get
in this movie.
That's
Yeah.
kind of what you get with Bane. Like, it's like, oh, yeah, obviously go Batman, but like, I want to see as much of Bane as you're willing to show
Kind
me.
of a criticism of the movies, though, is like the villains are usually more dynamic than Batman.
Well, here's what I would say. In the second movie, the villain is definitely more dynamic
Right,
than
well,
Batman.
yeah,
He
of
won an
course.
Oscar, but definitely not in the first one. I think this one is probably a push. This isn't even my least favorite of Chris Nolan's Batman movies.
Whoa. Do not tell me you're going to put Batman Begin.
We'll find
Oh,
out. Now,
my
I will say
God.
this. I think all three of his Batman movies are great. I disagree wholeheartedly in the take on Batman. DC Comics live in a world that is not our own. Marvel Comics live in normal cities. You know, Peter Parker's in New York City. In DC, it's Gotham, it's Metropolis.
Yeah.
What Chris Nolan's doing is he wants to make a real world Batman. That's what he wants to do. He
Yeah.
specifically is trying to give you a city that is a city that could be anywhere in the United States, not in a fictional universe. Everything that happens in his Batman movies, with the exception of a couple of very small details, could happen in real life. That's the goal of what he's going for. He also has an audio file. So when it came to Bane's voice, he didn't care if you couldn't understand it. When it came to Batman's voice, it was very important that it be hysterically different than Bruce Wayne's normal voice, being a part of the disguise. Every decision he makes in these movies is great. Now, here's what I'll tell you about The Dark Knight Rises.
Every decision.
Like from a no, wait a minute. Every decision he makes from
I
a
got you.
standpoint of
I got you.
of world building.
We're
Now-
on number 10, and Dan's pulling out every detail he makes.
Now,
Decision.
Yeah.
what I will tell you about Dark Knight Rises is it is the most problematic of the three movies. There are some things editing that don't quite work. Sometimes the mouthing doesn't match up, especially in that cave scene. The cave scene is one of my favorite scenes in.
It is baller.
It's an amazing scene. However, I do believe if you watch these movies all together in a row, the weight of what this movie is trying to do, the degree of difficulty of this movie is so far and above Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. The degree of difficulty of this movie is through the roof. He just made arguably the best crime superhero movie combo of all time that is as easily recognizable like Michael Mann's Heat as it is a Batman movie.
Right.
And so now he's got to make The Dark Knight Rises to complete the trilogy. He said he's never making another one. He means it. How do you land that plane? Virtually impossible. So
Right.
does it all work? No, it does not all work. But I think the main themes he carries through so successfully. And I love 2 or 3 set pieces in this movie, particularly the cave, I think is riveting stuff. I love this movie. I think it's a really great movie, but I understand how it gets bottom 3 for Batman. I don't understand how it gets bottom of the list for Nolan. I mean, I know you've not seen Insomnia, but this like we got a lot of bad superhero movies out there, Chase. This is not one of them.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
And I agree with all of your points about
Yeah.
like thematically it's solid. And I agree with the he made a realistic Batman. And but my thing is like personally when it comes to Batman, I don't like the realistic Batman.
You want it to be
I
crazy.
like the fantastical. I mean, I think Robert Pattinson's Batman was a good way of doing realistic Batman. But it's just like the final set piece of Dark Knight Rises just takes place like in the broad daylight of the street, and it just looks weird. It doesn't look as good as the cave scene of that movie.
The cave scene's amazing. He really expands. I mean, we're doing full terrorism at the end of this Dark Knight Rises, and it's a lot. It's a lot, and it is. It is a movie that shouldn't work. If I read you the plot synopsis, you would be like, that movie sucks. But I do think that the themes that he starts in the first one and he brings Scarecrow back around, he brings the idea of chaos from the second one back around.
That's true.
I think that he lands it. And I think that there are enough really great scenes, and Tom Hardy's great as Bane. And that opening scene, if you saw it in the IMAX, where he actually has two planes and he actually is dropping a bit of a plane into the sky, is just a phenomenal piece of filmmaking.
Yeah.
It is as difficult a set as he has throughout all three of those movies. So I'm a big fan of this movie. It would not be 10 for me. Not even close.
This is going to be a long episode,
Right?
boys.
Number 9. What do we got? Number 9.
Number 9 on my list is Memento.
Oh,
Dude, what is up, man? You can't. So here's the thing about.
I don't think this is number one. This is my favorite Chris Nolan movie. You need to know that right now.
Whoa,
It's my favorite
dude.
Chris Nolan movie.
Here's the reason. No, again, this is not a bad movie by any stretch. This is number 9
rules.
because the other movies in my mind are just so awesome.
So awesome.
right?
Got
Because
it.
and you brought this up in the intro. Nolan is an independent filmmaker who gets these huge budgets.
That's right.
And I think most of the time, if you give a director an unlimited budget, they usually make a worse movie.
Yeah.
Most directors are almost better with a lot of limitation.
Correct.
Nolan is the exception to that. You give him unlimited money and you will see every dollar.
Yeah.
on the
Every
screen.
dime's on the screen. That's right.
So
yeah.
something like Memento, which is a smaller budget film, I think that he has made this movie again, but better.
Inception.
And a couple of others. I think that he has done what he does in this movie, but he's done it even better. So this isn't a bad movie. It's number 9 because the other ones rule so hard.
I got you.
But I do love this movie. I watched this movie for the first time a few years ago. So I didn't see it. When did it come out? 2000?
2000. I believe, yeah.
So I was 1 when it came out.
Yeah.
So I
So
watched
you got it. You got the sensibilities of what he was going for.
Yeah, and I think if I by the time I watched it in 2019, I think Memento had influenced so much that I had the
That's
ending
fair.
isn't as satisfying for me.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's like, when you watch, people, I was told to go see Citizen Kane and I went to see it, and it took going to actual film class when I was in college to appreciate Citizen Kane for what it was and how much of a benchmark it was.
Rosebud.
That's right.
I mean, it's not Citizen Kane or anything.
Yeah. Have you
it's not
seen
Citizen
Memento, Brain?
This is one of 2 Nolan movies that I have not seen.
Yep.
So
Could he have done the research? Could he have?
I could have.
I mean, he could have. All the time in the world.
I could have.
It's probably his shortest movie, too. This or Dunkirk.
It's good though. It is good. And
It's phenomenal.
here's an
I
interesting.
did, in full transparency, I was going to watch this movie last night, but then I remembered that I had to watch a Hallmark movie because
That's tough
That's
when you
so-
go from pivot from Memento to
so I
Hallmark.
watched.
That's tough.
I watched a balloon movie instead.
Oh,
Hallmark should just start remaking movies like Memento.
Oh, dude, in an 83 minutes.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah,
an 83 minute Hallmark Memento.
we'd get some baller movies
Yeah, we
out of
would.
that.
Yeah, we
This is one of the only Nolan leads that doesn't show up in his other movies,
Guy Pearce.
and I think that's interesting.
Yeah. That is fascinating because
Yeah.
he uses the same people over and over again. Guy Pearce is British. You would think that there's a connection there.
because
That's true.
everyone from the same country gets along.
Dan, you mentioned that this is your favorite, but maybe not the best.
I adore this movie. If I'm making my own top 10 list, it's either 1 or 2, personally, but I would grant it's not his best made movie. This movie, when I was taking film in college, I had to scene and segment this movie, which was an impossible task. But it allowed me to watch it and really sit in it and enjoy it. Everything you said is correct. I just have the reverse opinion of that, which is he's amazing with $300 million of a budget. This was him proving what he could do before he was given anything with which to do it. This movie is so incredibly dark. It has a very, the thesis of Prestige and the thesis of this movie are the same. The outcome of an Inception and the outcome of this movie are the same. This movie has all of his big, dark, philosophical swings in it about what the world is and why we're here and what purpose means. And it's done so through the lens of a movie that gives you nothing. It is not accessible. He does not explain it to you. He does not give you subtitles. He doesn't tell you when he's changing timelines. All of these things that have become benchmarks of what Chris Nolan becomes, he does in this movie. He had no reason to do this aside from integrity. He literally makes this movie. No one could have seen it. They could have been like, when it goes black and white, what's going on there? He crushes it. He doesn't care. He makes you view it on his terms or no terms at all. Guy Pearce is great. Carrie-Ann Moss is great.
Yeah.
Stephen Tobolowsky,
Yeah, he's
character
really
actor Stephen Tobolowsky
Hallmark
is amazing
Legends?
in this movie.
Is he a
Hallmark.
Hallmark legend
He's
for
in
real?
2 Hallmark movies, and
Oh,
he's
okay.
great in those movies. Yes.
He's a Hallmark legend.
This
Nice.
movie is so dark. If you don't know anything about this movie, the ending will just destroy you, and leave you asking more questions. Which everything that has become a trademark of Nolan movies, this did it.
Yeah.
This did it, and it did it first. And
Yeah.
so for me, you have to honor the thing that he did before he was given the billions of dollars he was given to make movies for the masses. He did it here first, and it is so good, so memorable, and it is a movie that I recommend to people that are like, hey, what are your favorite movies? I'm like, watch Memento. I just think it is a puzzle box of a movie that doesn't need big explosions or sci-fi twists to get across some big themes and to just leave you riveted. I love this movie.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. That's serious.
Hey, man, we agree, I think.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Listen, I hear a lot of
I
agreeing
agree.
going
Yeah,
I
on.
think there's it's just a generational thing.
Well, that,
I
and
mean,
a philosophical
you know,
difference. You like it because it was the first.
Yeah.
I feel like because he does it again, he felt like he didn't nail it, so he wanted to do it again.
I got you. Yeah. He's improving upon his
Yeah,
original.
All right.
Yeah.
Speaking of Hallmark Legends,
Yeah.
really quickly, we're actually going to be on your YouTube channel tomorrow.
Yeah.
We assigned you a Hallmark mystery movie. Your whole thing on YouTube is you solve mysteries.
I can't wait for
and
this.
film and TV.
I've not
and
watched.
So we assigned a movie for you, and we're going to be a part of that video, and that comes out tomorrow over on your YouTube channel.
Yes, dude. It's a bit of a long watch, right? So my videos are typically between 1 hour and 3 hours long.
That's right.
This one clocks in a little over an hour. But it's me, like, I have the conspiracy board behind me. I'm breaking down clues and theories. I'm trying to solve the movie.
And what's the movie?
The Jane Mysteries, Murder at Mosby.
And tell me about all the
can't
other
wait.
Jane mystery movies you watched beforehand.
None. That's why I had to come ask you guys for help.
That's
so.
right. That's right. So click on the link in the description of this episode to head to Chase's YouTube channel. It's a great time. It's a great time.
Great time.
All right, let's get to number 8.
Number 8, and I feel like now I've made a big error. Number 8 is Tenet.
Dear God. Although I guess it shouldn't be any higher. So
Yeah, so I'm guessing that you would have had that at 10.
11. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
11.
So I find that fascinating. So here's why I like Tenet. I have a buddy, dude. First of all, I have a buddy who would have had Tenet number 1.
That's wild.
My buddy, I think he's been on your guys' radio show, Shama Mrema.
Yeah.
Okay.
Instagram
I gotta
comedian.
talk to Shama about this.
He loves Tenet, dude, and I agree, and his love for Tenet makes me love it a little bit more too.
Why?
It's a vibes movie.
It is
It's
a
the kind
vibes
of
movie. Yeah.
It's the kind of movie. To your point, you brought this up earlier. He doesn't care if you understand Bane.
Yeah.
He doesn't care if you understand this whole movie. Tenet, dude,
Yeah,
it's
it's
like
true.
it's the movie where you just sit back and don't worry about what's going on. Don't try to follow the logic. Don't try to hear every little piece of information that's being spoken. Just experience the vibes. And I think it's a super sick movie. You don't have to pay close attention. Don't try to be like here's the thing I hate about.
Don't pay close attention and you'll love it.
Well, no, like that's not what I mean. Like I
Chase
saw
Bridges.
this movie in IMAX right when it came
Yeah,
out.
Same.
The reason it's number 8 is because I watched it once. I don't need to watch it again. I'm not going to watch it.
I've never
again.
seen it again. I've seen it one time.
I experienced it the way it was supposed to be experienced, and I really enjoyed the experience. Did I completely understand what was going on? No. But was that the point? Yes.
You think that was the point?
I do think that was
Okay.
the point. I think that was the whole thing behind it is like you sit back and you experience the vibe of what's happening. You watch a plane crash into a building. You're watching sick reverse fight scenes. Like just experience what's
Heck yeah,
happening.
bro.
Yeah.
But if we're going to get sci-fi involved, because at the end of the day, Nolan wanted to make a James Bond movie, but he made his version of James Bond movie, which is like time travel, reverse time. This does use one of my favorite time travel tropes. It was also used as a big story arc in the Doctor Who series, which is you have two characters on opposite timelines. And I think the reason a lot of people didn't understand it is because it wasn't super clear, first of all, in the ending. But I picked up on it. Basically, Robert Pattinson's character, and is it John David Washington?
Yes.
Denzel's boy.
Yeah, Denzel's boy.
He's so charismatic in this
And
movie.
they're so cool. Yeah, it's all about the vibes.
Yeah.
It's
There's,
supposed to
the
just be
vibes
cool.
are good. Vibes are high here. I promise you.
You know, they're on opposite timelines. One person was born here, one person was born here, and they're going in opposite directions. And so the first time that John David meets Robert Pattinson, is actually
The last time
that he's meeting Vice. You see what I'm saying? And so I think that's cool. I think it's a fun sci-fi thing. I think he wanted to make a cool spy movie, and I think he did that. So that's why it's number 8.
Number 8. Bran, you love this movie.
I do quite enjoy this movie.
I saw this with you.
I like this. I liked it more than I think most people, but not as much as Chase. I think
You wouldn't have done this 8?
no, but I do really like this movie, and for a lot of the same reasons that you do. And part of it, transparently, it was one of the first movie experiences
the theater.
after COVID,
Yeah.
and seeing it in IMAX was a wonderful, wonderful time. And it's hard. Like, I think about some of those like backward scenes on a regular basis. Really cool, really well done. I personally wish that there was a bit more sense to be made with it, but
Would be nice.
yeah, great vibes. Great vibes for
It's
sure.
a vibe movie.
It's a vibe movie. Dan?
Yeah, the car chase scene in this movie is one of the best things he's ever filmed.
sick.
It
That's
is.
sick.
It is unbelievable.
Woo!
I just can't believe how amazing it is, knowing that it's all done without digital effects. Like that is. It goes without saying what Nolan does with practical effects is just a step above. The reason that it is last on my list is because Christopher Nolan makes complicated movies. His movies are not convoluted. That is like Inception is like, if you're not paying attention to Inception, you're going to be like, what do you mean? There's 4 dreamscapes and the time is, but it's not, it makes perfect sense. If you're watching, he's not trying to trick you.
No.
That is not what he does in his movies. He explains a big fault of Chris Nolan movies that is a fair criticism is that he tends to explain the plot a lot in his dialogue. That is because he wants it to be very clear. He knows what's going on. He knows what he's doing, and he knows where he's taking you. That is, you could not, in my opinion, make the case that that's happening in Tenet. This movie's super freaking cool.
Oh, yeah.
It does have a couple of great leads. It has a great send-off, thanks for everything, Michael Caine moment in this movie, which if you love Christopher Nolan, and Michael Caine has been in all of his movies, Michael Caine is probably too old to really do much more heavy lifting in this movie. He gets a scene where he is literally thanked on screen in this movie. It's great. The movie doesn't make sense. I love the idea of him going, I don't want to make your James Bond, I'll make my James Bond. I love that. I love the idea of Pattinson and Washington moving in different directions. Still, when you are watching a scene where some troops have blue armbands and some have red armbands, and it looks like when you would rewind the VHS tape when you were a kid, it's just silly. And so the vibes are there. The some of the set pieces are amazing. This is the one movie of his that does not aspire to be something greater, and so I have it last. Is it still fun? Yes. But if he has an oeuvre of movies that are, I aspire to be something bigger and better than a summer blockbuster, why would I have this any higher than last? And so I probably need to watch it again. I've only seen it once, but it's last. It's just, and if you've seen Insomnia, I think it would probably help you because that movie also is quite something. But this movie just doesn't aspire to be anything more than 2.5 hours with popcorn, and that's it. And that's his only movie like that. And so it's last.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I think the movie deserves number 8.
Thank
you for welcoming me.
If your Bane was like a 9, that Michael Caine was a 3.
Oh, no, I liked it. And I would actually.
The thing about
That sounded
Michael
more
Caine,
like Oliver Twist.
the
I
thing
feel
about
like.
Michael Caine is you do him like a toddler that's talking for the first time. Once
Michael
upon a time, you're walking up
I
the
heard
stairs.
the toddler. Yeah, I heard the toddler. Yeah.
Master Wine.
What was that? Give it to me one more time, Michael.
Master Wine.
It's not even close.
Let's get to number 7.
I love it.
Number 7
11:30 already, huh? It's
is
unbelievable.
Dunkirk. What do you got to say about this?
You watched this for this.
You just watched it for
I
this.
watched it 2 nights ago. I loved it. I thought it was really cool.
Phenomenal movie.
I think Nolan, and we'll talk about this in a different movie farther up on my list, but I think that this is a movie where he said what he needed to say sci-fi wise, and so now Nolan is like, let me just do my favorite genres. Let me just go through and be a genre filmmaker. So he made his war movie.
It almost feels like a one for me, one for you.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'll do Batman for you, I'll do Prestige for me,
Exactly.
Inception,
Yeah.
back and forth. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And Dunkirk was super cool. If you explained to me, yeah, Christopher Nolan made a war movie, it's exactly what I would expect. It's all character driven. You're jumping back and forth from different characters going through different arcs that really don't coincide other than the fact that they're all on the same beach with the same mission or whatever. I love it's non-linear, which is interesting for a war movie. The performances are all phenomenal. You got Kenneth Branagh just showing up and showing how great he is.
Home. Yeah, come on. Home.
Showing how cool he is.
Yeah.
He did the same thing in Tenet with Kenneth Branagh.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only reason it's like not farther up on my list is like at the end of the day, it was like, oh, this was a cool war movie. I wouldn't watch it a million times. I thought it was really fun to watch one time. Harry Styles showed up. That was weird.
Yeah.
Shout out.
I was like,
performance out of Harry Styles.
Which, hey, pretty impressive. I didn't think it was possible.
No.
I don't know if you guys saw The Eternals, but
when he announced Heath Ledger as the Joker, I know you were 5 years old, but it was like
I was 7.
Everyone was like, "This is hilarious." There's no world where Heath Ledger is going to be in a serious Batman movie as the Joker.
Yeah,
and then look what he did.
That's pretty crazy too. Because I live in a post Heath Ledger died world.
That's right.
Where he's one of the greatest of all time.
We all do live in that world.
We all live there.
I mean, you guys were like in your 20s when he died. I was 7.
He was a teen heartthrob. He wasn't like an actor to be taken seriously by most people. And then that movie, everybody was like, oh my gosh.
We could do a whole podcast talking about how I think Heath Ledger was on track to be Johnny Depp.
All-time great.
But anyway,
all-time great. For sure.
Anyway.
Brain, you've seen Dunkirk?
I've seen Dunkirk. I have actually seen this movie 1.5 times.
Whoa!
And I'll tell you why that is. The first time that I went to see it, I was with my wife in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Home of Rocky.
And
I know this story.
This movie was out in IMAX, and I was like, "This movie, like,
you got to go see it in IMAX.
You're supposed to go see it in IMAX, and there's an IMAX theater close by. Let's go." The IMAX theater was at the Planetarium, and I'm like, "Well, okay, this will be, this will be great." Walk in, and it is like one of those dome.
Oh, so it is the Planetarium.
It's the Planetarium.
Whoa.
And my wife was a few months pregnant at the time, and the curved walls and the moving and all that was making her quite
sick.
I could feeling imagine. Sick, and so I did not. She was like, "You should go back in and finish it." I'm like, "I'm not going to finish. I'm not like,
stay in the lobby.
I'm not going to leave.
I'll be back in 45.
Yeah, you'll be good." So then I did go and see it in its entirety and quite enjoyed it. Yeah. This is not one that's like some of the other ones capture the imagination completely, but it is a really cool movie. I also thought that the guy on the cover was Tom Cruise when I went into it, and I was like, I wonder when Tom's going to show up. And so like there was a lot of that was the mystery. That was the mystery for me. Like
that guy's
I was
like 30 years younger than Tom Cruise.
Well,
maybe
I thought
40.
I thought they were doing a thing.
You thought they were doing an Irishman. They were doing an Irishman.
I thought
got
it was
you.
like Gemini Man.
Who is
Chris Nolan known for distorting faces digitally?
who is that on the cover? Because I thought it was
something, right?
Not Tom Cruise.
Not Tom Cruise.
Not Tom Cruise. So you can imagine my surprise.
Dang.
So yeah, I do quite like this movie. Dano?
Yeah, this is one of the best war movies ever made. I think this movie's phenomenal. I think seeing it in IMAX does help it greatly. But I also think, Chris Nolan makes these massive movies, and then you hear he's making a movie about an event in history we all could just read about on Wikipedia, and you go, why are you doing that? And then, you get a week on the beachhead, an hour in the air, and a day on the boat.
Yeah, it's super sick.
And there's something about how, Hans Zimmer, makes the score go up and down depending on what timeline you are in. That is so phenomenal. You also get Michael Caine just as that air traffic control. You get
you get
give it to me.
Oh, make sure you check your gasoline.
Are you full Australian now? It's not even close.
Crikey!
Just Ned Kelly over
going
here.
Down,
What is Tom Hardy once again in a Nolan movie with his face covered.
Yeah.
This movie ratchets up the tension so incredibly well. It's like an hour 45. And it's all shot practically. He's got old World War II planes in the sky. There are dogfighting scenes that are actually filmed up there. You have Mark Rylance giving an amazing performance in this movie. For a movie where you know what's going to happen at the end, it is rousing. It is entertaining. Yeah. It's one of my favorite Chris Nolan movies because I think a lot of people are put off by the sci-fi. So like, I love the sci-fi.
Right, of course.
I love being like, he can clone him, or like there's 4 levels of dreamscape. But you lose some people at the door. They don't have a sci-fi ticket in their hand and they go, I'm not doing this. I'm not suspending my disbelief. This movie is an all play. It's an all play. Everyone can sit down for 100+ minutes. If you like war movies, I think this movie is an amazing exercise in building tension. And maybe his best, aside from one other movie that he does. It's one of my favorite Nolans.
I don't remember any dogfighting in that movie.
Oh,
they brought dogs. They brought dogs up in
Nah,
planes.
bro.
Yeah, dude, they had Michael Vick in one of the planes.
Michael Vick. Yeah, I knew you were going to do it. I knew somebody was going to do it.
And Michael Caine was like, Michael Vick,
Yeah,
put
it was
the
a Michael
doggy
Caine,
down.
Michael Vick
Cool.
situation.
Put the doggy down.
You're talking about put the doggy down?
He said it. He said it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, I like this movie a whole lot.
No, this movie's amazing. This movie is like, this movie was it's one of my favorite war movies of all time. I think if we did a war movies diss list, I'd probably have it too.
That seems dark, though.
That feels, I don't know about that. I'm about to come back for the war one.
Yeah. Come on, man.
It's like Full Metal Jacket, Dunkirk.
What's fun, though, is
Private Ryan.
while we do that, we also play War the card game.
We play,
and
never
we
played
have,
it.
and you just have
and
to,
we also play War. What is it good for? The song.
absolutely
It's all-
nothing.
And then we get John Lennon in the studio,
That's right.
and he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
we got to
war's
stop
over.
doing the war, man.
That's right. Yeah.
Rest in peace,
Yeah.
obviously.
Was that Michael Caine?
That was Michael Caine.
I've only got
jobs.
I have a shallow bag of tricks.
All right, let's do one more, and then
Okay.
we'll take a break.
Okay. What is this? Number 6?
Yeah.
Number 6.
Number 6, Batman Begins. Guys, I know I'm going to get, are we allowed to cuss on this show?
Go for it.
I'm going to get a lot of shit for this one. I already know. No one likes this movie, but I love this movie. This movie is so sick, dude. It's like the Gotham has a vibe that you don't get in the Tim Burton Batman. I mean, because it's a distinct, different vibe.
Yes.
You don't see it with the oh Lord,
Joel Schumacher Batman.
Joel Schumacher Batman, because that's a very different vibe. This is like, if you're gonna do a Batman that happens in real life, this is how you do it. It doesn't just look like Chicago and Pittsburgh and Wall Street. Like, it looks like it's Gotham City, but it's Gotham City in the real world. You get a part of the comics that we hadn't seen in the origin story of Batman and Bruce Wayne and other live action adaptations with the Ra's al Ghul and the League of Assassins. Super sick stuff. You get to see Scarecrow. This is like the closest thing that Nolan has made to a horror film.
Yeah.
You get jump scares. You get like some of the creepy, more like,
Dude, a Nolan horror movie would be fantastic.
phenomenal.
Oh my
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this movie is like so cool, dude. The Batman voice isn't unbearable to listen to. It's the perfect amount of where's Rachel?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, this movie's so sick. I don't understand why everybody dislikes it, especially, I don't know why you would have this lower than Dark Knight Rises.
I don't think that everyone disliked. I think what weirdly happened with this movie is it came out, everybody liked it.
Yeah.
And then The Dark Knight came out, and everybody was like, boy, the Batman Begins sucked, didn't it? and that's not really fair. And then The Dark Knight Rises came out, and everyone, especially everyone younger than 50 went, is Batman Begins the best of the trilogy? Like, they started doing this bit where it was like a renaissance of this movie. And I feel like we've landed squarely where it should be, which is Batman was a property no one wanted to touch.
Yeah.
Literally, they're like, we'll give the Memento guy Batman, we'll give the Insomnia guy Batman Begins. We'll give him Batman, our biggest property, because after Batman and Robin, it was toxic. No one wanted to be anywhere near the property.
Spears.
And so you got it. What he did here was create a new world with a real Batman.
Yeah.
This movie rules. It's a great movie. I give Dark Knight Rises the edge because of Bane and degree of difficulty. That is why. If I'm grading a movie by how much it does right versus wrong, this is better than Dark Knight Rises. I think Dark Knight Rises has the weight of the world on its shoulders for a superhero trilogy, and it lands the plane successfully, and Bane's amazing. But this movie's really good. Ken Watanabe, Liam Neeson, Cillian Murphy, like some just great talent across the board, and it gets better every rewatch too.
And you get the guy that goes, it's the freaking bat.
Yeah.
Whoosh, and it gets taken up. That's
the
awesome.
first Batman scene is pretty amazing. Where he's like, where'd he go? Here. Or what does he say? Yeah. Where is he?
Where is he? Here.
Yeah, so good.
Oh, dude, it's so sick.
Yeah. It's
dude.
listen,
So cool.
I think The Dark Knight Rises is better, but I'm not here to argue about that. I mean, like, Batman Begins is a great movie. It's a great movie.
I thought that I was going to get roasted alive for this pick.
No. I mean, I would probably have it a little bit lower than 6, but I think that we're splitting hairs at this point. These are all like, you know.
Hey, do your Liam Neeson real quick.
Oh God, I don't know. I don't even know where to start because he's Irish, right?
I always use the
top of the morning.
No, that's not
Batman.
That's not.
I'm going to get to my daughter.
That's Michael Caine on cocaine.
Hey, you wanna? If I told you guys, because we're about to go to a break right here on Bramble Jam, you can watch this
on YouTube.
On YouTube,
Diss list.
And
that's right.
That's a weird thing you just went into.
Yeah, you really. It was a reset. You're doing a reset right now.
If I told you guys that there is a season-long episode of television that does this exact movie,
Batman Begins.
Yeah.
Was it the Fox show?
Mm-mm.
All right. What is it?
It's the show Arrow.
Oh yeah,
which in my opinion is the best Batman TV show.
Well, the first season or 2 of Arrow is really good, and then the show becomes really bad.
It's a Batman show, but they just use Green Arrow.
They just use Arrow.
So if you want to watch 8 seasons of Batman long arcs that you don't get in movies because they're too short, watch Arrow.
And just imagine it's Batman. And
imagine it's Batman.
You don't even have to imagine that hard. He's wearing black and a hood, and he's just like, "Where's everything?"
That's right. He just doesn't have a belt. He just got a bow and arrow is all. That's it. What do you think of this movie?
I like this movie. I think I like the order in which you have it in, and I think 6 is a swell spot for this movie.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at. Let's take a break, and we'll come back, and we'll get Chase's top 5 Chris Nolan movies. On the other side of the break here on the Diss List. It's the Diss List with Bran and Dan.
And Chase. That's right. They mixed it up that time.
Did I step on your toes?
I don't know. I don't know if that's for you.
On your guys' toes.
You doing resets? You're doing.
Guys, we're back on the Diss List from our break. Thank you guys for joining us right here on YouTube on the Diss List.
There you go.
I'm trying to make myself the third.
No,
host.
you're doing a great job.
Okay.
Let's see where your top 5 goes, and then we'll see if you can work your way into the theme song.
That's right.
Okay. Number 5, what do we got?
Number 5, Oppenheimer.
Oppenheimer.
Phenomenal movie.
I mean, the Oscars.
That's
lady? We have her here. Unbelievable.
Oppenheimer.
Good.
I mean, I think at this point, like all of these movies could
bangers.
be. Yeah.
What you have left is they're all. I mean, I would have Memento in the top 5, and Dunkirk for that matter. But what you have left are all bangers. They're all amazing
for sure.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer, dude. I put it at number 5 because, it's one of the more recent, if not the most recent. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know why in my head his new Odyssey movie had just come out. I wish.
And you put it on a list.
Yeah, and I put it number 1. It was
dude, it's flat. I got it 11. Tenet's better than the Odyssey.
I've seen it one time, and this one's similar to Tenet, where I watched it in IMAX right when it came out. I did Barbenheimer. I don't know if you guys did that.
I did for sure.
I don't need to watch it again. I actually think I would be disappointed if I watched it at home. Because once you witness that atomic bomb scene in IMAX, I don't want to watch it any other way. If it ever came back to theaters, I would go see it again at theaters. What an awesome movie. I put it at number 5 because the only 2 things that go against it, in my opinion, it's about 30 minutes too long.
How dare you?
It's about 30 minutes too long. And this isn't the kind of movie that I would watch anywhere other than the theater. So that's why it's 5 as opposed to 3.
I got you. So just the entertainment value.
Yeah. No, I mean, what a baller thing to be like. I'm gonna make a biopic and make it one of the craziest movie experiences of your entire life.
Yeah. Yeah.
He got every sickly white boy in the game in this movie. We got Josh Peck showing up. We
got Bernard from the Santa Claus.
Yeah, we got Bernard from the Santa Claus. We got Roderick from the Diary of a Wimpy Kid movies.
Academy Award winning Remy Malek showing up for 2 scenes.
Yeah, dude. Robert Downey Jr. wins an Oscar for his performance. Every sickly white dude that you could possibly imagine in Hollywood is in this movie, except for me. I'm the only actor that fits that description that didn't get the call.
Dang.
Yeah.
Did you audition?
No.
Well,
yeah, maybe that was your problem.
Peck.
You don't think Josh Peck auditioned?
No, I think Nolan was on the phone, on his little flip phone.
Josh Peck didn't audition?
He called up
Josh Hartnett. He's in there too.
Oh, dude, Josh Hartnett.
He's really good.
Dude, he's back. By the way, I just saw Fight or Flight and had a great time.
Sick.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
Josh Peck is not offer only. Like
Oh,
Josh
dude.
Peck is auditioning.
No, dude. I think Chris Nolan called up every agency in LA and said, "I need every sickly white boy you got.
I need a Josh Peck type.
Send the roster."
We have Josh Peck. That's
right.
Do you want him?
You're like, yeah, bring him in.
I mean,
Dan,
the
do you want
50s, 40s, 50s were the heyday of sickly white.
Oh,
dudes,
dude,
for sure.
Yeah, I wish I was the Brown back then. I'd be crushing right. I wouldn't be on this show.
Yeah.
I'd be with Al Roker somewhere at the Thanksgiving Day parade as a legend.
You'd have Al
I'd be
Roker's
the
job.
I'd be the Dick Van Dyke of my generation. That's what I would be. Okay.
It was interesting for you to talk about thriving as a sickly white guy and then bring up the black guy that you'd
right.
be hanging
Yeah.
out with.
Yeah, especially when Dick Van Dyke
I
was
have
the
a lot
Dick Van
of-
Dyke of that
I have a lot of
generation.
respect for Al Roker, so I bring him up in a lot of.
No one loves Al Roker more than me.
Someone does.
My life is going to be worse when he passes away.
All right,
No,
well, let's
for
not
real,
skip to
dude.
that.
I
Hey,
really
he's got
like Al
plenty of
Roker.
time
Dan,
left.
Dan, do you want to tell the Oppenheimer story real quick?
What story is that? Oh, yeah. Bran didn't know this was based upon true historical events. We're sitting around in my swimming pool, and Bran goes, "So what's this bomb about?" And I went, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "In Oppenheimer." I was like, "The atomic one?" And he said, "Oh, it's about the atomic bomb?"
Yeah.
Dude, what movie were you watching?
He didn't.
I hadn't seen
No,
it yet.
this was a
This is
trailer for
before
the
it
movie
came out.
Oppenheimer.
Oh, okay.
He didn't know it was based on history.
I obviously, like, I
So what's this
know.
bomb about?
So I know the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
I didn't know the name.
Fair enough. No, dude, fair enough. I don't think I knew Oppenheimer's name. I wouldn't have known.
Thanks, brother.
There's two parts of this movie that I thought were like some of the best dialogue Nolan's ever written.
Yeah.
One of them being the kind of big moment that everybody talked about when they were trying to decide where to bomb. And the guy goes, "Oh, well, not there. That's where me and my wife vacation." Whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. And
Yeah.
then the other wild line is
Wait
I
for it.
went blank. Sorry.
Well, how about you think about it, and I tell you that I do really like this movie. You know, in the year that it came out, what was that, 2023? Did I like Wonka more? Yeah. I did. Was
Welcome to the diss list.
was Wonka
Wrong
my
opinions only.
was Wonka my favorite movie of the year? Heck yeah, it was, brother.
Was it actually? Are you being sincere?
No, he's
Yeah.
being dead serious.
I freaking
Timothy
love,
Chalamet's
I
I do
love
love.
Wonka.
I do love Timothy
It's a
Chalamet.
fun time.
But I did really enjoy Oppenheimer. Would it have been better with Chalamet dancing around with a top hat and a cane? Maybe.
Oh,
And
dude.
let's just see the cut. That's all I'm.
He's the only
Like,
sickly
release
white
the
boy.
Chalamet cut is all we're
Chalamet
saying.
He didn't
not
make
in
the,
movie.
sickly white boy
How
cut.
about
Dang,
that?
That's
dude.
the ultimate sickly white boy.
I
How
know.
do you not make the cut?
Dang, dude, that's wild.
But I did really like this movie, and I thought, for a movie about the atomic bomb, it could have been a really
Could have been a snoozer.
could have been a snoozer. I've seen a lot of I've seen a lot of the beginning of historical documentaries, and then slept through the rest of it. And I was, a little concerned. Like, is this going to be like that? It's not like that. This is the dialogue is so good, and yeah. And then the scene of the bomb is insane.
Yeah.
It's insane, and to see it on the IMAX screen is
Wonkenheimer.
Yeah, it's good. he
Wonkenheimer.
literally has never told anyone how he's done the bomb scene. Have you seen these interviews?
no.
Yeah, well, I think
He's like, well, I used a couple tricks of the trade. I'm not going to tell you because I think we're going to use them again in the future. And the guy's like, but did you use any digital effects? He's like, no. And they were like, did you set a bomb off? Like a real one?
in my opinion, I think he just did. And
I
he
think
doesn't want anyone to know that he did
might
that.
have blown up, done a test bomb. I think we get one take. It's a test bomb. Here we go, everybody. I think it might have happened.
What you
I
don't
agree.
know is if you get real tiny and you do a little firecracker, it looks a lot like an atomic bomb.
Miniatures.
People don't know that.
It could have been
Miniatures.
miniature.
Miniatures.
Yeah, it probably
It,
was.
it
Firecracker.
wasn't, but
It's a firecracker.
I think he blew up
You
a
think it
bomb
dropped
in
a
New
bomb?
Mexico. I really
dropped
do.
a bomb in New Mexico.
He dropped
Sometimes
a
you got
bomb on New Mexico.
Hey, this is Christopher. This is Christopher Nolan's best movie. I
would agree.
I didn't.
at number
I
5.
refused to. As someone that loves Nolan, I saw it on IMAX. Just literally didn't even know how to process. Watched it again. Watched it at home on my TV. And after the third time, I went, "Yep, this is his best movie." And it's his best movie for a number of reasons. Number one, these two jokers who didn't know who Oppenheimer was both love it. Right? So what I'm saying is that you made a movie about J. Robert Oppenheimer and
Yeah.
it made $1 billion at the box office.
Pretty baller. Pretty baller.
That's amazing. You made it interesting. Also, kind of like the undercard of the test scene, are all of these amazing courtroom scenes.
Oh, yeah.
Where they're interrogating him, and you've got Downey Jr. with a great heel turn. This movie is an existential crisis disguised as a 3-hour biopic. It's an amazing movie. The performances are unbelievable. The tension, the opening scene of this movie makes you feel like you're watching a finale.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, 3 hours later, you are watching a finale. It's not a moment too long. I love this movie. I think this movie has to operate in the real world. You have to give it the credit that, Inception has an out, Prestige has an out, Interstellar has an out. Those outs are all, I'm dealing with stuff that can't happen in real life. In this movie, he's dealing only with things that have happened, and the movie feels as though it's science fiction. It's amazing. It is Nolan operating at the height of his powers with what you described as a much more limited, under $100 million budget.
Yeah.
Globe-trotting, shot the whole thing in 51 days. Cillian Murphy's in most every scene in this movie. It's unbelievable. Emily Blunt is amazing in this movie. Yeah. This movie deserved Best Picture. It's his best movie. It just is his best movie. Yeah. I love it. It's fantastic.
I can't disagree with that. I can't disagree with any of that.
It's Josh Peck's best movie.
Josh Peck, for sure.
What about Drake and Josh go to Christmas vacation or whatever?
I do freaking love that movie.
It's close second.
I do think the movie's a little long. That is what I'll say. I think it's about 30 minutes too long. But I would agree. This probably is his best movie. I think that he was like, "Oh, y'all want an Oscar movie? I'll make you an Oscar movie, and it'll be awesome." And it was awesome.
Yeah.
So I don't disagree.
It's amazing. Number 5's a slap in the face here. This is tough.
This is my top 10 favorite, right?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I guess I was thinking best. But
I stand by it because my favorite are the ones I think are the best.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Best is favorite. We say that here on the disc
Best
list.
is
But
favorite.
this list, best is favorite.
If we're talking just frame by frame, analytically,
it's unbelievable.
What is the best movie? This is probably by far the best movie.
Also, he gets in trouble all the time with people because sometimes his scripts are so on the nose. Like they're just, watch at that point Elliot Page now explaining the rules of Inception, and you're like, this movie rules, and I'm giving you a pass because it rules.
Yeah.
But she's just asking questions. The character's literally asking Leonardo DiCaprio questions as the audience.
Yeah.
That's all she's doing. And that movie still rules. I want to be very clear. But and in this movie, the dialogue's amazing. The dialogue is as good as the filmmaking.
100%.
Fantastic movie.
No, I agree.
Let's get to 4.
Number 4. I peeked a little bit, sorry. Number 4. You just brought it up. Inception. What a great movie. Saw it for the first time in theaters in 2020 because the local theater was showing old movies to try to stay alive. And I was going to see everything. I was masked up watching Inception. First time I'd ever seen it. And I'm so glad that I waited to watch it in theaters because I don't know. It was just, there's something about seeing those buildings sideways in a movie theater.
And it shouldn't hold up 8 years later. And it totally
shouldn't. My whole life, all I heard was how confusing Inception was. It was it became a part of the vernacular of pop culture. If something was confusing, it's like, what is this, Inception? So I go into this movie, my wife, girlfriend at the time, but my wife was the one that wanted to go see
congratulations.
it. Well, I mean, we've been married for 2 years. But thank you.
Dude. Gosh.
In 2020, I was 20 years old. So when she wanted to go see it, and I was like, I don't know, man. I'm not the brightest person. I might not even understand the movie. I didn't really want to go see it.
That is true.
Yeah, no, Bran knows. But then I showed up. It's so easy to follow.
It's so easy to follow.
It's not complicated at all. The only thing, quote unquote, complicated is the ending is ambiguous.
Yeah.
And people are like, I just don't get it.
I don't get the movie are very clearly explained. Very clearly.
100%. It was easier to understand than Interstellar.
Yes. Yeah. For sure.
But man, what an awesome action movie. You got Leonardo DiCaprio putting on a great performance. You get an all-star cast of great performances. Even Joseph Gordon-Levitt shows up cooler than he's ever been.
He's so cool.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy's there. It's just a sick movie. He made The Dark Knight, right? And then he did Inception next.
Yes.
I think that those movies are kind of like you could watch a double feature of those movies, and you would be like, Nolan might be the best action filmmaker.
He is Inception and Dark Knight back to back.
Yeah, it's pretty baller.
Unbelievable.
That's a good day.
Yeah.
I love this movie. I don't know if there's been a movie that has captured my imagination as much as Inception. I love it. And I got to see, I already thought that Hans Zimmer's time is one of the greatest
Mm-hmm.
songs made for film ever. And then I got to see it live, and it's hit me so hard in the heart. Just so good. A beautiful piece of music for a beautiful movie. Really, really like this one. Dano?
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that Prestige, Inception, and Interstellar, your favorite movie of those three is whichever one you watched most recently.
That's cool.
Unless you just jump off of the wagon in Interstellar in the last 15 minutes, and I know some people like that.
Yeah.
I disagree, but I unless you do that, those three movies, whichever one that you've seen most recently, that is the one that you will immediately say is your favorite. They're all amazing.
Yeah.
This movie, if you care about how movies are made and find that interesting, go look how he did the hotel fight scene in this movie.
Oh, it's so cool. Dude.
Where he builds an actual hotel, 4 different hotel rooms in 4 different orientations, and then he builds one that he can spin. It is
High School Musical 3 did it first.
yeah, High School of
Kenny
course.
Ortega
Yeah.
the
He's
Christopher Nolan of musicals.
Of musicals.
You
That's
said
exactly
it,
right.
brother.
Yeah. So, but this movie is quite a marvel, and it has a classic Nolan ending that makes everybody upset. As soon as the screen goes black, directed by Chris Nolan, people are arguing in the IMAX about this movie, and I agree with you. I think the movie is complicated or complex from a standpoint of it's not a straight direct narrative, but if you're just paying attention,
You will get it.
easy to follow.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of Tenet in every way in that regard.
Yeah,
I
the
agree.
more you try to pay attention to Tenet, the worse that movie is. You've got to just lay back on Tenet.
That is true. All
Yes.
Tenet long, I was like
All
thinking,
Tenet long.
All Tenet long. All Tenet long.
At some point,
Yeah.
he's going to do the Inception thing where we finally get the
No.
answer.
the breakdown.
No.
Here are the rules.
No. This movie, it dares you to try to figure it out. It like demands repeat viewings, which I think is a hallmark of a great Chris Nolan movie. And you've got everybody at the top of their game. Once again, Ken Watanabe, Michael Caine, all the regulars. Tom Hardy again. DiCaprio is great in this movie. What'd you say?
I just said Michael Caine.
He was setting me up, but I got in my head about it. I was like,
Jason's scared to do it, Michael Caine.
we're going to go into their dreams. And then we're going to go into another dream. And we're going to do that 4 times. I'm Michael Caine.
I think it's perfect.
It's terrible.
I have no notes.
It's so terrible.
No notes.
Have you seen the Trip with Steve Coogan and
I have
who's
not.
the other guy? They do Michael Caine impressions. You
No,
check
I
it
need
out.
to
It's
watch
really
that
fun.
though.
This movie's great. And this movie, Prestige, Interstellar, to me, as long as I get the feeling one of them is going to be one, but in my opinion,
yeah.
I don't think any of them deserve to be one. And any order you give me that's not 1 or 9 or 10, I'm fine with, because all 3 of them do what he does incredibly well, and they're very original pieces of work. And I think they deserve to be in the top, at least the top 2/3 of this list, because they're just original, and that means something. So there you go.
Okay. Number
Getting
3.
it's getting real now.
Oh,
Top
yeah.
3.
Top 3. It's getting real.
I think you guys are going to have an issue with my number 1, but I don't know. Number 3, Interstellar.
I thought this was going to be one.
Interstellar, I watched it for the first time last week.
Ooh.
What a blessing
Wow.
Right?
to get to watch that movie for the first time.
This one wasn't too long, was it?
No,
And it's almost 3 hours.
but it felt
Yeah.
it grabs you the whole time.
The whole time.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say if we were doing a Matthew McConaughey performances list,
Ooh, no,
this is
one.
number 1 by
Easy.
about a million.
Yes.
Hey man, I'm going out into the stars. I'm gonna try to save the earth, man.
It's the one where he doesn't have to be Texas to be good at acting.
I got to be honest with you. A few years ago, Calm was a sponsor of Deck the Hallmark, and I found their sleep stories part of their app. And Matthew McConaughey reads a story,
Dude.
and it
puts you to sleep.
Every time.
I still haven't heard
Go
the end
to
of the story.
sleep, Brian.
It's
Go to
so
sleep,
rad.
Brian. It's time to go to sleep,
It's
man.
so good. He is putting it. He's laying it on thick, and it's awesome.
Typically,
Anyway,
if Matthew McConaughey's in a movie, if he is Texas, the movie he works.
It's good.
If
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
not,
yeah.
it doesn't. He is Southern in this movie, but it's not like the McConaughey Texas thing.
And he's playing a super genius, but with a Southern accent, which you don't see often.
No, it's great.
And
It's
he's
good
just
for us
like-
Southerners.
and this was big for us.
This was
big
a
for
big.
us.
Some
Big
were,
deal.
some were saying that this is like
Some are saying.
Many are saying.
this is the difference between. No, the cool thing about this movie, in my opinion, was the ending. I saw coming a mile away. because this movie is 10 years old or whatever.
You saw what was going to happen, not how it was going to happen.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I think. I saw the ending coming.
If you saw what was going to happen a mile away, then God bless you.
But then you're experiencing it and you're watching. I don't want to give spoilers in case you haven't seen this movie, but you're watching it and you're like, okay, this makes sense, but what is happening right now? And it's so sick. I really like the whole movie. I love how it's a dystopia movie. So it's like in the same vein as like Hunger Games, or like a zombie movie, but it's like, man, I don't want to be a farmer, but I got to be a farmer. I want to be a space engineer. And that's like such a funny dynamic for a character to where it's like you want to be a super genius, but you're forced to grow corn.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought that was super sick. All of the performances are amazing. It's such a sad movie. It's devastating at points. Like there's parts of this movie 4 or 5 times where my heart just sinks because I understand like the gravity of what just happened. No pun intended. If you watch the movie, then like he leaves his kids behind, and that's like, oh my God, but he's making this sacrifice, and then like they get down to the water planet, and the wave comes, and then that guy's been waiting for them for like 25 years, and that sinks your heart. And then Matt Damon's performance is what sells this for me. Matt Damon, everything about this movie is subtle. And Christopher Nolan, I wouldn't necessarily call a subtle guy.
Nope.
But all of the characters in this movie are so subtle. It's so genuine. It might be some of the best performances of any Nolan movie. But Matt Damon, who is the quote-unquote villain of the movie, any other actor would have really played that up.
Yeah, he would have.
They would have really hammed it up. No. He if anything, he underplays it to where you're watching, you're like, oh, he's the big bad guy.
Yeah.
And it's, because I'm an actor, so like when I'm watching movies, like the acting is what I really latch on to. And I forgot everybody was acting in this movie.
But Matt Damon plays in Nolan's probably most overt symbolism. Matt Damon plays the bad guy, and his last name is Man, like because mankind is the bad guy of this movie. And you're 100% right. He finds a very new. He's better in this movie than he is in Oppenheimer.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Where he's like bombast in Oppenheimer. He's my least favorite part of Oppenheimer, which is a movie that I still think he's good.
Yeah.
But like he seems to be just Matt Damon yelling. Everyone else seems to be doing the thing. In this movie, he's amazing.
Yes.
He's so good in this movie. You're 100% right about that.
Yeah.
Matt Damon. You love this movie, right, Brandon?
I do love this movie. Yeah. This is a great movie. I wrestle with where to put this one, but I do really, really love this movie, and I really also enjoyed the memes that kind of came out a few years ago, where it would show something and then it would cut to Matthew McConaughey crying. Those were great. Love that. So
love a meme. You're judging it by the memes. Great. Glad you did it.
Diss list memes.
Yeah.
Write it down. I don't know. But I do love this movie. Dano?
I like this movie's amazing. Nolan had garnered the reputation before he made this movie of being a cold, heartless, calculated filmmaker who's more interested in the engineering of filmmaking than he is the heart of filmmaking. And I do believe that a lot of Nolan's choices are responses to people. Like you said, like, oh, you can't make an Oscar movie. Dunkirk should have been nominated. It wasn't. He's like, oh, okay, I got you. 3-hour Oppenheimer movie, but still plays to the teenagers somehow. I don't know how, but it does. This is a movie where he posits something that is a stretch for people, which is this. If I can make a movie with 4 levels of dreamscape and you buy it, and I can make a movie with cloning and lightning bolts in the 1800s and you buy it, why can't I make a movie where the transcendent principle of science is love? Why can't I do that? And so he did it.
Yeah.
And so for people that wanted the mathematician Nolan, they were upset. And they're wrong, in my opinion, because he made this movie, like he's a father, just like a lot of other directors are. And I think he took it personally that people thought there were no emotions in his movies. I think there are emotions in his movies you can go and watch, and I think they play well. But this movie wears its heart on its sleeve and is a love letter to his daughter. And it's an amazing movie. It is 3 hours. It feels like 90 minutes. Yeah. I was in the Simpsonville IMAX, never had to pee so bad in my life the first time I watched this movie. I just couldn't miss a single frame of the movie. And McConaughey's never been better. And then you've got some all-stars playing some roles that, like Jessica Chastain, unbelievable. Casey Affleck, unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
Michael. Yeah. He is in that movie.
Yes. He is in that movie as well.
Dude, you won't.
I'm not even gonna try this time.
Just say the word corn as Michael Caine.
That's what I was trying to do, and I was like, I don't know how to do it. Corn.
Yeah.
Corn. Yeah, I don't think Michael Caine knew how to say the word
This
corn.
movie's amazing. If you ask me to those three movies, Interstellar, Prestige, and Inception, if I was just ranking on degree of difficulty, this is the best of those three movies. But I like all three of those movies a lot.
Yeah.
I don't really care what order you put them in. I like all three of them. This movie's amazing.
What'd you do with the P?
I held it.
Wow.
And then I knew there wasn't going to be an end scene credit, and I hopped over the railing. I was in that first row. I jumped the railing and sprinted to the bathroom.
Nice, bro.
I made it.
Pretty spry
I know,
guy,
right?
this Dano.
That's right.
The thing that's super cool about this movie is it's the same science behind the first Planets of the Apes movie.
Interesting. I've never thought about that. But yes, that makes sense.
Astronaut goes into space.
Yep.
Time moves way faster on Earth. He goes back down to Earth, and instead
all
of
changed.
monkeys,
Yeah.
it's still people.
You flipped it.
And that's why I'm going to
Flipping
coin
and
Christopher
reversing.
Nolan as the Rod Sterling of our generation.
Rod Serling even?
Did I mess up the
I
last
think
name?
it's Serling, but it could be Sterling. I'm
You
pretty sure
might
it's-
be right.
it
I'm
could
not
be
the
right.
brightest.
No, stop it. Oh, we need to mention the score of this movie. I know Hans Zimmer's done a lot,
yeah.
but like, oh my gosh.
So sick.
Oh my gosh. What he does, he's known for giant pipe organ in a lot of Chris Nolan movies. This score is completely different, and it's Hans Zimmer's best work in my opinion. It's amazing.
Shout out Hans Zimmer.
Yeah, dude.
That's right. Shout out to Zim.
Underrated composer, I think. Hans Zimmer.
Yeah. Sure. Let's go. I mean, I think he's pretty beloved. I don't know.
No one's talking about Zimmer, bro. If
Nobody's
you
talking about
and your boys ain't talking about Zimmer,
Yeah,
what are you doing?
Nobody's talking about the Zim. Nobody's talking about the Zim.
Zim to you. Let's get to number 2. Number 2.
Oh my. Here we go.
Oh man. Number 2, The Dark Knight.
Okay.
Now look, man, I've already said I don't
You said
like.
you didn't like his Batman.
Yeah, but this is one of those movies
Better than Interstellar.
that
This movie rules.
everyone who watched The Dark Knight, whether you're a film snob or you're just a regular guy that doesn't even watch movies that often, everyone walked out of that movie being like, was that the best movie?
It's the best.
It's so sick.
Yes.
The action set pieces are just as good, in my opinion, as the Inception set pieces. I mean, the iconic truck flipping.
Unbelievable.
So sick. I think everybody is talking ad nauseum about Heath Ledger's Joker, but it's like, it's that good.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so annoying when people bring it up now. It's like, no, we get it. For 10, 15 years, we've talked about how great it was, but it's just that good, man. The movie, people call it Heat, but with Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a compliment. Because I think it could even be better
It's
than
better than
Heat. Yeah, I didn't know if that was going to get me like thrown
it's
out.
better
So
than Heat.
it's just like it's the most fantastical of the 3 Batmans that he's done. I think. It's just so sick. Every part of it. You have Two-Face, which everybody forgets about in that
Aaron
movie.
Eckhart.
He's killer. The Joker walking away from the explosion and trying. I mean, it's just every moment of that movie is either the coolest action piece you've seen, very funny, or like devastating. And I just think it's a sick movie. I mean, it's just, there's a reason that
And Michael Caine's in it.
Michael
yeah,
Keaton
he
in
is.
it as
Yeah,
well.
he is in
As
that one.
Alfred the Butler.
Have you heard
So
about
he's
Michael
like,
Caine?
the Joker is a bad guy.
The Joker
I
was
think-
the best you'd been. The Joker, that one. The
The
little
Joker was
Joker.
really
That was perfect. Yeah.
This movie slaps. It's probably, I would say, the best superhero movie of all time.
Yeah,
Yes.
100%.
Followed by Morbius. And this movie, great time. And Dan, you and I
Madam
watched
Web,
it.
I think it gets an honorable
You
mention.
and I watched this movie together. We did a rewatch early when as the theaters were still shut down. Dan, you and I were really missing the theater, and
That's
so
right.
we went up to the office late one night
And we watched this.
The Dark Knight.
That's
and
right.
It was a magical
On
time.
4K. That's right.
On the 4K.
So good.
This movie slaps. Stand up.
This is the best superhero movie of all time.
100%.
I
Of
don't know
all time.
of all time. I don't know what else. Like full stop. I don't even know what else is in the conversation there. This movie is that good. It is dark. It does not stop. I told Bran this. I saw I Am Legend in like December of 2007 in the IMAX, and what they did was they didn't tell anybody. I saw it opening night. Instead of I Am Legend starting after all the previews ended, you saw the blue smoke come up, and you watched the first scene of The Dark Knight. The heist scene with the Joker, and the screen goes big. This is the first time any movie had ever been shot, any feature-length film had ever been shot with those cameras. So you're about to gear up for Will Smith messing with some zombies, and instead you get that scene. And nobody gave a flying, you know what, about I Am Legend.
After
Everybody was like,
that.
when does the rest of this movie come out? And then in the IMAX, this was transcendent. It's an amazing movie. Everybody across the board, it just starts and stops, and it is 2.5 hours of pure crime epic perfection.
Yeah.
This if you had it at 1, I would not have been mad. It's not 1 for me, but I get it. It is the best of its genre that's ever been made.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It is the Empire Strikes Back of the Batman movies. It's phenomenal.
I hesitated to put it at 2 when, of course, you have Interstellar
Yeah,
and you have Inception. But I was just like, I don't think you can deny, like, everyone loves this movie. I don't think there's ever been a single person that's like, oh, the Dark
somebody
Knight
doesn't like
sucks.
The Dark Knight. I just don't. What are you looking for?
Yeah, it's just
You
everything.
must have a dark heart.
Oh, you got him,
you
Bran.
got him,
You got him, dude.
Woo!
Okay, that takes us to number 1.
it
Really
is.
quickly, I'll catch people up. 10, or I'll remind you. 10, Dark Knight Rises. 9, Memento. 8, Tenet. 7, Dunkirk. 6, Batman Begins. 5, Oppenheimer. 4, Inception. 3, Interstellar. 2, The Dark Knight. And that takes us to number 1, which is...
The Prestige.
Wow.
Guys, this
It's a
is
shocker.
This is not only my favorite Nolan movie, it is in tight contention for my favorite movie of all
Wow.
time. And I'm not even being ironic.
Right
if you
on.
asked me before we knew each other, hey, what's your favorite movie? I would have probably said The Prestige. This movie's just for me in every way. It's like a Victorian era set piece about 2 rivaling magicians in this like blood feud. And there's a central mystery that you don't even know how or if it's going to get solved. And then at
This
the
is
end,
such a
you're
good
like,
movie.
whoa. And it's like, this is Nolan doing a mystery film. And he broke, like, so I don't know how much you guys know about mystery writing, but there's like the 10 rules of detective fiction in the golden age of detective fiction. So like Sherlock Holmes and Agatha Christie and all of those detective. And he breaks 6 of them.
Yeah.
And including like, you know, the big twist at the end of the movie
Yeah.
that everybody talks about is one of the like the most like, you don't do that.
Ever.
But he does it in such a way. I mean, he starts the movie being like, are you paying attention?
That's right.
And you think you are. This is how great this movie is. I've watched it 2 times. The first time I watched it, I said, this is my favorite movie I've ever seen. Couple years later, I watch it again. And I said, I'm so excited to watch the movie knowing the ending. 10 minutes in the movie, I forgot. And I got by the twist again.
Got.
He got.
That's how good this movie is. You have 2 of the greatest actors of my lifetime.
Michael Caine.
Well,
Michael Caine, Scarlett Johansson.
Christian Bale, and Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman.
2 actors that it infuriates me that they're known for their superheroes.
Yeah.
When they're probably 2 of the best dramatic actors
They're amazing.
I've ever seen. They're putting on a master class.
They're unbelievable.
A lot of people talk about Nolan always having a dead wife in his movies. This one has 2
It's
dead
got 2
wives in
dead
his
wives.
movies. And I think that's, you talk about how Nolan movies are seen as like not having emotions or whatever. I think it's very wholesome that like you could tell his biggest fear in life is his wife dying.
Yeah.
And I think that's really sweet. And this movie is like, if Interstellar is a love story a love letter to his daughter, then The Prestige is a love letter to his wife. Where it's like this whole movie is about when you lose the one you love, the extent that does to a person.
Same for Inception.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same for Inception.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but I think this one does it even. But I mean, it's just everything.
tough.
The vibes
Yeah.
are immaculate. You have that science fiction
The vibes are
element.
unbelievable. Yeah.
Dude, I mean, I don't want to spoil too much of it, but it's like, you know, you got clones.
Yeah.
And if you watch the first 10 minutes of that movie and then someone was like, hey, there's clones in this movie, you'd be like, no, there's not.
No, there are not. There's no way. If you watch the first 45 minutes,
Yeah.
you would say there's no clones in the movie.
It's my favorite movie. It's the vibe that I love when I'm wanting to watch a movie. I don't even know what else to say about it. It's like gothic
No, you
horror
crushed it.
at times. I don't know, man. It's awesome.
Bran?
What I am just now realizing, and I had to look it up because I'm looking at the top of the
Have you not
poster
seen this
here.
movie?
No, I've seen it.
Okay,
Yes.
thank God.
No, it says from the director of Batman Begins, Memento. And I was like, did this movie come out in between Batman Begins and The Dark Knight?
It sure did.
And it did,
Yes.
which is crazy. And then after Dark Knight, he does Inception. Before.
So that was his deal.
Which is crazy to me. Like if you're doing a superhero trilogy,
He only agreed to do it if he didn't have to make the sequel right away.
that's crazy.
It was literally a 1 for you, 1 for me deal.
That's crazy. That's crazy. This movie slaps, and it is another one of those that just tickles the imagination in the best way, which is something he's just an expert at. This movie crushes.
Yeah.
Is it number one?
It's number one for sure, dude.
So this movie, everything you said, like every time I think about this movie, I'm like, this movie's the best. Here's the thing, guys. If you've never seen The Prestige and you listen to this whole episode, which I can't imagine being the case, but if you've never seen The Prestige, the movie starts with a black screen and Christian Bale saying, "Are you watching closely?" Then Michael Caine, we've heard of him, then gives narration. He gives narration while showing you a magic trick.
And he breaks down the different rules of making a magic trick.
And then the movie is that magic trick.
The movie is a magic trick.
The movie is that exact same magic trick that he just showed you, and I've told you that, and I've still not spoiled it.
Mm-hmm.
That is how airtight this thing is. This guy has the absolute gall to look at you and go, "This is what's going to happen all movie. I've shown you everything you need to figure this out. And you're not going to figure it out." And then he's going to tell you why you're not going to figure it out, because you don't want to figure it out, because you want to be entertained. He's going to give you all that in the first 3 minutes. It's immaculate. Now, if I'm trying to figure out an accessibility of people that don't like sci-fi, I imagine this movie would really bother them. Interstellar and Inception, the sci-fi is brandished on the front door.
Yeah.
Right? This movie's about dreams. It's about space travel in a future. This movie plays very much like a Victorian era mystery for the better part of its runtime. And then it introduces sci-fi. That is my literal only complaint about this movie. If you are so invested in the world that they've created, the cloning could very well take you out of this.
It could feel like a cop-out.
Yes.
Yeah.
It feels, but it's sleight of hand. But if you are invested in this world and these characters, I know it's possible for you to lose you at the cloning. That is my only critique. This movie's amazing, though. I've seen this movie. I taught a film class, and I showed this movie every year. And every year, high school kids, it's their favorite movie.
Yeah.
Every year, without question. This movie, I've seen it on the 12th time. It's as good as the first time you watch it, if not better. It is phenomenal. It is so well made. It is a dark movie about, how maybe you wanted to be fooled by this movie because your life sucks. Like literally, like he posits in this movie towards the end, maybe I put it right in front of you. Maybe you didn't figure it out because you just are looking for some sort of escape from your own life. That is what we're dealing with here. It's amazing. It's an amazing movie. I'm talking about it and giving the respect it deserves. I don't believe it belongs at 1, but oh my goodness, it's good. It's so good.
It's 1 for me because it's like, that's just what I love. You know what I mean? It's like I'm a mystery guy at heart, and this is exactly what I want.
Yeah.
And
you need to see Insomnia.
Yeah, I definitely will. I would have watched it if we had pushed it 2 more days. No,
there's nothing you could do. He had weeks and all, and just no time.
Yeah, great movie, man. Love it.
All right, we got a lot to do, a lot to think through. Dan, I know that you're already just.
This is tough.
You're having a tough time.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break. We're going to come back, and Dan and I are going to make some changes to Chase List to try to make it the best possible list. We are back here on this list. With Bran and Dan, the Diss List. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Diss List with Bran and Dan.
And Chase.
And
Michael Caine.
And Michael
Caine.
And Matthew
Chase,
McConaughey.
We took a break. We put a lot of thought into this. It's time to make some changes to your list. Before we dive in, remind people really quickly, your top 10 Christopher Nolan movies, starting with number 10.
Yes, number 10, The Dark Knight Rises. Number 9 is Memento. Number 8 is Tenet. Number 7 is Dunkirk. 6, Batman Begins. 5, Oppenheimer. 4, Inception. 3, Interstellar. 2, The Dark Knight. And number 1, The Prestige. Even though this is a top 10 list, any of these movies would be a great watch at any day.
If you've not seen any of these movies, even Tenet, I would say go check them out.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go first, and I am not going to do any replaces because I have not seen the
Insomnia.
Yeah. So I'm just going to do three
switch-ems
and hope for the best. Here's what we're going to do. Chase, I am going to Take out. I'm going to take the Dark Knight Rises and move it to 8, and I'm going to move Tenet to number 10. I think
fair.
I think Tenet is your weakest movie on the list.
That's fair.
As a whole, and so I'm going to make that switch. I'm not going to touch Memento because that was the other one that I hadn't seen, and so I'm just not going to touch it.
We've got to watch Memento, Bran.
I would like to.
I also need to see it.
Maybe I'll do it
again.
tonight. Maybe I'll do it tonight. Tracy, you want to come over?
Maybe. You
Let's
got to
watch
give
it
me.
on
You
the
got to stop
movie
doing
at the-
things day of.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you need to start.
Brand will hit me up and be like, "Hey, I'm seeing a movie in a couple hours. You want to come see it?"
Oh,
And I'm
yeah,
like,
that's classic
"Dude,
Brand."
I need clearance from a lot of people before I go do that."
It's gotta go through all the checks and balances of a self-employed YouTuber. You gotta talk
Right.
to
There's
the
a lot of
boss.
chain of command there.
It's a
Yeah.
whole thing. So that gets me to number 7, Dunkirk. I'm going to leave it as is. Batman Begins, I'm going to leave it at 6. And here comes some changes. I'm going to take Oppenheimer from 5, and I'm going to move it up to 3. And I'm
Okay.
going to move Interstellar down to 5.
Whoa.
Interesting.
Whoa.
And then I'm going to go with number 4, Inception, and I'm going to make Inception number 1.
Good call.
And that gets us with this list right here. Tenet at 10, Memento
Okay.
at 9, Dark Knight Rises at 8, Dunkirk 7, Batman
Inception
Begins 6, Interstellar 5, The Prestige 4, Oppenheimer number 3, Dark Knight 2, Inception 1. This is a selfish list on my part. Inception has long been one of my favorite movies. When I think of Nolan, I think of Inception as the first movie that comes to mind. Maybe it was because I saw it at a seminal moment in my life. Maybe it's all of it. But it all comes together for it to be my favorite Nolan movie. And so this is my list. Your thoughts on my switches?
I can't get mad at the Tenet switch.
Yeah.
Right.
Wild that Interstellar's at 5. I think that's the one that I'm like, whoa, Interstellar is all the way at 5.
It's a heavy hitter.
But I'm looking and I'm like, you either got to move because I'm looking at your list and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. You were in a tight spot because if
Okay, here's the
Inception's got to
thing.
be your number one,
That's
which I
the thing.
respect.
That's the thing. Here in my mind, here's the thing. I always wanted Inception to be number 1, and you kind of forced my hand with
Yeah.
Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Because you put Oppenheimer at 5, which it just
It's
just
the best
can't
picture.
be.
Yes,
it has to be
that
at
was
least
my
in his
problem
top
too.
3. And I
Oppenheimer
didn't
5,
want to.
yeah.
I didn't want to touch the Dark Knight. I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
the Dark Knight deserves to be in the top
That's
3
right.
too.
Yep.
And
it's
so
the same quandary I had,
I
Bran.
have this top 3, and you could argue with me however you want to that the order should be swapped in that top 3. I do think that's my top 3, and so I had to make changes in the way in which the rules fell. And so
Right,
I had
yeah.
to switch Oppenheimer with Interstellar, even though is Interstellar number 5. Probably not.
You
but
probably would have put Interstellar before Prestige.
that's
I'm
probably what I
guessing.
would have done.
Yeah.
That's probably if I didn't move Tenet, if I saved my third swap, I could have done that. But I felt like Tenet needed to be at number 10. So
I
those are
understand.
those are the changes that I've made, and I'll throw it over my big guy Dan.
My big guy, Dan. All right, it's
My
a new
big
thing
guy.
we're trying.
My very big guy.
So you need to know my personal list, which I don't get to do here because I can only make 3 switches, is Oppenheimer, Dark Knight, Memento, Dunkirk. Those are his 4 best movies because I think that represents the 4 things that he does incredibly well: the time switching, the superhero stuff, Oppenheimer historical drama, and then just a straight up good war epic. Here's what I did. First of all, I got Tenet out of there and put Insomnia in. It's kind of unfair because you guys haven't seen Insomnia. I didn't know you'd not seen Insomnia
Okay.
at the time that I did this.
So you just thought I was wild and
Well, I just think part of the rules is I get to replace 2 of these with 2 of my own choices. So I'm going to use it because
Yeah.
I think Tenet is his worst movie.
fair enough.
Still a good time. It's the only one of his movies I've not seen more than once. So I have Insomnia at 8 because even though I probably would have it at 9 or 10, but I've got it at 8 because I had to do a straight replace.
It's a
So
straight
Tenet
replace.
out,
Right.
Insomnia in. The first thing I did is I switched Oppenheimer and The Prestige. So The Prestige goes from 1 to 5.
Wow.
At the end of the day, I usually try to win this. I usually try to win and beat Bran and have my list be chosen. I couldn't not do this.
I get it.
With trying to make as many of my picks as high as I could here. I switched The Prestige and Memento. I also did that because I do think Dark Knight is great at 2, and I definitely think of Interstellar, Inception, and Prestige. My current favorite is Interstellar. So even though 3 might be a little bit high for me, I like those 2 where they are, and I'm trying to show them that respect. And I think, Prestige at 5 is not the end of the world. It's a top 5 Nolan movie.
Yeah.
I switched Memento and Batman Begins. Now, what that does is it puts the two Batman movies that aren't named The Dark Knight at 10 and 9. Dark Knight Rises at 10, Batman Begins at 9. And I got to be honest, that's probably close to what my list is in real life.
I really can't be mad at that.
Yeah, those movies are really, really, really good superhero movies, but Nolan typically does better than a really good superhero movie. So I switched those two because Memento, I think, is so rare. It's the only thing close to an independent film, low budget film on this list. And I got it up to 6. I'd love to see it a lot higher, but that's really all I could do. And then I switched Inception and Dunkirk, which is probably what's going to get me in trouble here. Bram moved Inception up to 1. Yeah. I moved Inception down to 7.
That's a wild one. Yeah.
So you know, a pretty big discrepancy here between what Bran did and what I did. So I have Oppenheimer 1, Dark Knight 2, Interstellar 3, Dunkirk 4, Prestige 5, Memento 6, Inception 7, Insomnia 8, Batman Begins 9, Dark Knight Rises at 10. So as good as I could do.
Dang, it's a big choice. Big choice.
I can't be mad at a lot of these choices.
You gotta pick it. Do you like the Inception at 1? Do you like the Inception at 7?
Yeah.
You're trying. I see what you're trying to do. I think what it boils down to. Can I see Brand's list as well?
Yeah, there you go.
I think what it boils down to, man, is for me, Dunkirk is not. Go back to Dan's list.
Yep.
It's not a number 4 for me.
He's too high for you.
That's too high for me when you have Inception on the list. And Prestige is a. Now I knew coming in, I didn't realize we were going to butt heads on so many different things. I knew my number 1 was going to be controversial.
Well, yeah.
Prestige number 1 is a wild pick, but that's
swing.
just the one that speaks to me the most. So I really can't be mad at Oppenheimer at number 1 because, as we've said in this episode,
it's the best movie.
It's probably his best movie.
Can he get mad at it at number 3?
Best movie at number 1. I don't know what I mean. It's best movie at number 1, and then Dark Knight's. Dark
Knight 2 is, I think, the actual answer.
Where we all agree.
Yeah. I think what I have to make my decision based off of is Dan has Oppenheimer at number 1. Bran has Inception at number 1.
That's right.
Interstellar's at number 3 on Dan's list. Interception's all the way down at 5 on Bran's list.
Well, I had to.
I know. You were in a tight spot, man. I hate to say this, but I think I'm going to have to pick Dan's list.
Okay.
Even though Prestige is knocked down to 5 and Inception is all the way down at 7.
But I got the 3 that you wanted up there at the top.
Yeah, and it's really hard to argue because I can't argue Oppenheimer at number 1. I can argue Inception at number 1. You
100% can argue Inception at number 1.
And I can't imagine Interstellar anything under. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go with Dan's list. I'm sorry, Bran.
I didn't think I was winning this one.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm a logical man.
Of fine taste, this Chase Bridges. Say what you will.
And people have said a lot, especially Michael Caine.
Michael Caine said so much this episode.
Well, congrats, Dan.
Bran, dude. So, guys, and if you listen to our Survivor podcast here on Bramble Jam, Bran's not doing great on there either.
Yeah. He's not good at games.
Who do you have left, Chase?
Oh, well, I'm not doing great over there either.
Of the two of us, I'm doing better than you.
Oh, wow.
That's true. That is true.
Oh, I knew that because I listen.
I know you do. I know you listen all the time. All right, everybody. This was a lot of fun, Chase. We're going to be on your channel tomorrow. Yes. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hit the link in the description to subscribe to find out all the fun mysteries that Chase covers over on his channel. Shows that you care about some that you don't. But he'll make you care.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of Chase. That's the beauty of Chase. Come on back next time for some more diss list. I hope that you will. Until then, everybody
just keep doing the
thing. It's the diss list with Bran and Dan. It's the diss list with Bran and Dan.
And Chase is here as well.
It's the diss list with Bran and Dan. It's the diss list. Where's Bran and Dan?